Hey, it's another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Casual intro. That's my cash. That's my cash intro. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Winding out the end of the year.
This is new
2021.
content, though. This is new content.
Done.
This is not old.
No.
It's not old stuff. This is new stuff.
It's not a rerun.
But we have a really relaxed kind of a vibe when we come in.
Yeah, it's Christmas week.
Yeah, it's Christmas week.
Well, I guess it's after Christmas.
It's after Christmas week.
How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it's around the Christmas time. My Christmas is pretty horrible.
Pabon is here. How you doing, Pabon?
Hey, what's up,
What
Tom?
an intro.
Thank you for the gifts. We appreciate that.
What'd you get?
You're welcome.
I'd
got
like to
some
compare.
custom art.
Let's compare gifts now.
I got some custom art.
I got custom art too.
Yeah.
It's all like fully custom art, which makes me feel bad. Whenever you know somebody that has an amazing talent and they give you something that's truly amazing, and then you have nothing of equal value to give them, it makes me mad.
Andy gave me a $10 Bath and Body Works gift card.
Yes,
Wow.
I like that. That's nice.
Did you guys get that?
I got I got
didn't get
$10
that
home
one.
goods.
I did get a bar of soap.
I got $10 home goods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like home goods. I need dish towels. It's fine. $10 is, good. I'll have to spend. Like when people give you a gift card and it's for an amount that you know you're going to have to put your own money in. Are you mad? I'm mad.
Yeah.
I don't like that. $5 gift cards are meaningless. Even a $10 gift card is almost meaningless. What is that? A candle? Am I paying tax on that? I don't want to pay tax. You got to give gift card and $1. If you give me a $10 Bath and Body Works gift card, no offense, Pabon, you got to put $1 on top. You got to put $1 on top and say that's for the tax. That way you don't have to come out of your own wallet to buy a leaves. You get smelled leaves? That's the flavor of that's the savor flavor right now. That's the one you want right now.
Okay.
Leaves.
It's called Leaves. It is the quintessential. It's a mixture of cinnamon broom meets evergreen meets wintergreen meets Santa sleigh, and you combine it, and it's called Leaves, and it's the whole holiday in one candle. And get the 3-wick. Don't cheap out and get a 1-wick. Get a 3-wick.
I like that, but if someone gave me a gift card, even if it was a 5 or 10,
Don't tell me that you appreciate everything.
Yeah,
That's a lie.
It's not that. It's not that I appreciate it. If they gave me $1 on top of the gift card, I'm confused right off the
No,
bat.
they tell you. You're supposed to say it. You say, I gave you a gift card for $10 so you can buy one overpriced Bath & Body Works candle. But the $1 for the tax so you don't resent me later.
Well, then I'm in. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's like communication. Somewhere along the lines of being humans, we forgot that communicating is very important.
Yeah.
You got to talk to people.
What's the percentage? I'm sure they have this down somewhere of the amount of money in gift cards that not
don't get used. Yeah.
It's probably like more than 10%, right? Which is insane.
I have changed my ways because of one friend of the show and Twitch manager Juan, our good friend Juan.
Yeah.
He learned me a long time ago that most adult content websites will take gift cards that you hate for their monthly fees.
Oh.
So let's say Sam goes and gets me a gift card to this restaurant up the street called Too Much Sauce. There's a restaurant called Too Much Sauce. By the way, a better name might have been Perfect Amount of Sauce, but that's just me. If you gave me a gift card to that, I can go to like Pornhub and then I can put the gift card in there and then I can use it for porno instead of.
Really?
That's interesting.
I
don't think Too Much Sauce is on there. I'm giving them a free plug. I'm sure they're
Right.
great, but I'm just saying it's probably more like your Starbucks,
Amazon.
your Targets, your Amazons. Not that you would know. You wouldn't know that. Not that those adjectives would fly off your mouth quickly like that. No way.
So according to this KSL investigators, they said that 51% of
I
U.S.
trust
adults have unused gift cards, and the average person is leaving $116 on the table, which adds up to around $15.3 billion nationwide.
That's insane. $15 billion, like
Why don't we
free
get
money.
we should get our listeners to send us all their unused gift cards.
Yes. This is the greatest grift of all time.
Yeah, send us your gift cards
Way
for
better
free.
than scratch-offs.
We should start taking at Tom and Dan's website. We should start taking, just like porn sites. We should start taking all your gift cards, any of them. We'll take them all.
Yeah, well, the porn sites though, they give you value in like their content. We can't.
We're going to give them content. We're going to pay for your BDM membership with a Starbucks gift card.
Yeah, but what do we get?
I haven't figured that part out yet.
We get the gift cards.
Yeah, but why do we want that? I want the money.
Like,
Wow.
are they using?
Right?
So they're figuring out
I mean,
a way to use the gift cards to
Jerry,
get.
Does
Yeah.
everybody here want to get paid in old gift cards?
Not really.
It depends what they are.
We need money.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you had, like, I had $3 from Starbucks, I had $2 from Victoria's Secret, I got $9 from Burger King. You know, like, you got all these different. Well, how do you get the money out of that if you are the porn? If you're like Bang Bus, how do you get the money out of those gift cards?
You don't. You're just doing it as a promotion
Just to keep eyes on the site.
to get people to sign up and subscribe and give their email address. Like the information is worth more to them because then they can send emails or
We'll keep hounding you until you die.
Or once you subscribe to something, you forget about it and then you just keep paying monthly fees. You know, I'm sure Pornhub has that same deal where it's just like once you subscribe for the minimum amount of premium, whatever, it just auto charges you until you go in there and disconnect it, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
like, so the amount of, like, the $5 Starbucks gift card or whatever the hell they have, it's worth it for them, Plus, like, think about, I don't know if they still do it nowadays, but they just stealing content.
Uh-oh.
And then
stealing content. Play the sound
Come and
effect.
get it.
charging, everybody for that content. So essentially all you need is a team of web people, and that's it, and then
that'd
the
be
server costs, and you're just making unlimited money, right?
True.
How you doing, Pabon?
I'm doing good. Now
Good to see you, man. Hey, welcome
great
to
to
our
see you guys.
conversation. Thanks for
I know.
coming over and hanging out.
Now, as a social experiment, I think it would be interesting to see if you could live like a month on just donated gift cards.
Oh, I bet you could.
You have no say in what you get. So, whether it's food or clothing or whatever.
Yeah.
So run a month on gift. Like, how do you get the gift cards? Are we just opening it up to our listeners
I think
to
so.
provide the gift cards, and then it's up to me and Tom and Sam to run the business or live?
Either, you got to make a choice.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to choose living. I would
Yeah.
imagine that'd be the smarter choice.
Hopefully there's a gas gift card in there.
The problem with
No, right? Well, for me, I wouldn't need that, so I'd give that to you guys.
Okay.
Right? I don't need that one. I'll walk.
Yeah.
Then we take that off the table.
the gift card, you forget about them, you put them in your wallet, and then like I've got
I don't
gift
even
cards.
think about them when they're in my wallet. Like, I've been
Oh,
up
yeah.
to Tools Ace Hardware. I like Ace. It's close to my house. I'll go up here and buy something, and I do have an Ace gift card that somebody got me because they know I use it for like little things around the house. It just slows me down. I got to get it out. How much is on it? I don't know. Just charge it.
Just give people
Just
cash.
put it on my card. I'll spend the cash. The gift card, I forget about it. I give it to my wife.
Gift card is a weird thing because
You're forcing them to use it at that one place.
Yes,
But
don't force me, bro.
But it's like the psychology of it is like it's like
That's
more,
why every time I use a gift card somebody got me, I go, look at what you made me do. Because it's true.
On some level, don't you feel like when you receive a gift card as a gift, it's just an obligation? Like, this person doesn't know me or care enough to have put some thought into the gift.
I've made that argument before, and then Tom craps all over it, and he talks about being a 21st century digital boy and how he gets everything delivered to his house.
Well, that's why they do gift cards, because the psychology of it is it seems like you put more thought into it than just cash. Like cash is like
I know
a
where
cold,
you like to
But
spend
cash
your
is king.
cash.
It is,
Right?
but I think it's considered like a cold gift to
blunt.
give someone because it's just
I know what you want, cash.
generic, and it means you didn't put any thought into it or whatever. But it should be the opposite, because the gift card is just as cold, even though like, I'm gonna give this guy a gift card to
I'm
Home Depot.
limiting your choices. Target.
And
Choose something. It's up to you.
and the likelihood of you forgetting it and wasting it is higher. So technically, you are giving them a bigger chance of wasting the money because they're going to forget the gift card or leave it somewhere or
So
whatever.
why have we
That
moved
never
away-
happens to me. As
why
soon as I
have
get a
we-
gift card, I use it.
Why have we moved away from
burn
cash?
right through it.
Well, sometimes as you get, you're not old enough, I don't think. Yeah, like I don't know why I get. Sometimes I'll get gift cards to things that, like, it's something I like, but like I got a gift card to what do you call it, Guitar Center, right? I mean, I'm typically going to use that for something we need that's like an emergency, like, oh crap, our interface died or something, or like with playing music. But it's not like I have enough time to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not playing in a band. So it's a very specific thing that, yes, I do enjoy. And the gesture is thank you, I love you, I appreciate it, Merry Christmas. Sure. But my point is that it's so specific that the likelihood of me using it is not day to day. That's why I like something in the middle. I don't like Guitar Center is too rare.
You know what
and
you
then
would like?
Starbucks is too generic. I don't want something a gift card that I'm going to use all the time and then burn it out in 2 days.
I think you would appreciate. My family's from the hood. We would get the Western Union money order check.
I like
Yeah.
a money order. Yeah.
That's
Money
where it's at,
order.
man.
Does it have the rainbow Statue of Liberty on it?
Of course.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
anything with a rainbow Statue of Liberty to me is free money. We determined that last week on the show. And when I see the rainbow Statue of Liberty, I'm like, free money. Let's have some fun.
Yes.
Let's party. Let's go.
Let's talk about Western Union because I feel
I'm more of an Eastern Union man myself, but,
I feel like
East Side.
I every once in a while I'll go up to the Publix, I guess, customer service area to check out.
You like to go up there and yell at the people getting their vaccines. I see you.
Although not so much anymore that they have self-checkout.
Self-checkout, yeah.
I just I'll do self-checkout now.
By the way, Walmart Neighborhood Market, no humans. It's all robots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Andrew went there yesterday. No humans.
Yeah, we're moving there. That's what
You're
it's
moving
gonna be.
into a Walmart neighborhood?
Yeah, we are. Things are real bad for the company. Tom and I are working and living at Walmart
Oh,
Neighborhood
man.
Market.
We're moving to a world. There's going to be no cashiers anymore. We're zooming
Sucks if
towards
you're a
that.
really good cashier too.
So
They work at Aldi. We all know that.
So
They're
everybody
the most efficient.
that I see, like back when I used to use the I guess customer service area that was using Western Union, looked like they were having a tough go at it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There
it's
was
on
not.
brand.
There was
for
never
sure.
anybody
Yeah.
that I saw that was like.
A truer statement has
There-
never been said on this show. That's the truest statement that's ever been said on the show.
Write that down,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
And-
there's a cross section of that and free tire air at Wawa. Like those are the same people.
Yeah. Although
Oh.
No.
every once in a while I'll see a cheap
Ultra cheap.
Richo
A Gilbert. I call him a
Yeah,
Gilbert.
yeah.
You see a Gilbert over there.
getting.
It's in reference to Gilbert Gottfried's addiction to. He's the cheapest human being. Watch the documentary. Cheapest human being on the planet.
Yeah, getting air in their like BMW or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
too cheap to spend 50 cents.
I saw a dude getting free air in a Tesla Plaid.
Oh,
The Plaid. That's the one that's the one, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna get it, that's the one you get. And I'm like, okay, maybe. But he looked really young, which led me to believe that this is because there are these college kids that will save every blanking cent they have to get a Tesla.
Yeah.
Because they're crazy about it.
he's car
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
he looked
Yeah.
car poor.
So, since it's the end of the year, let's talk about New Year's Eve, right? Because
What
I
are you
feel
doing, buddy?
I
We got
stopped
an
caring.
invite. We all got an invite to Seth Petrozelli's party.
Oh no.
Yes, I did. I got that over the weekend.
You going?
I'm thinking about it. It's Grease themed.
Oh,
Why
One
does
of
he-
my favorite movies.
I didn't get it. I thought he
yeah,
was
yeah.
talking about okay.
Yeah.
I'm a gross person then.
Quit doing theme parties, Seth.
Too old
Nobody.
for themes?
Oh yeah, and also it.
Everybody should just show up grumpy with a like a Walmart bag of whatever they're drinking to forget.
Well, it
Sit
forced.
down, grumpily drink it, and then go home.
It what just forces me to then what I gotta go get a costume
It's
now.
the gift
or,
card of
like-
parties.
Well, it's an
Yeah,
easy
you're right.
one. Yeah, you're being forced. It's an
Yeah.
easy one though. It's jeans and a t-shirt, roll up the sleeves.
Yeah, for the guys, it's super
yeah.
easy.
You got the hair.
Yeah, well then.
You do have the hair.
Yeah, you got the Kanicki hair.
Yeah, but it's like I hate Grease.
Oh, wow.
The movie.
Wow.
It's stupid and
Wow.
it's
I
not
have yet to
entertaining.
find
Shots
anything.
fired.
Pabon feels the same
it's
way.
too bad it's not a Snowpiercer into your
Right.
party. You'd be there.
Free solo.
Yeah.
I'm just-
exactly. What movie would you? It's a free solo party. Everybody's there with one arm bloody.
Shawshank.
Yeah.
No, I don't like any theme parties. I'm just in particular Grease and also what's that other one like that everybody used to go to?
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
No, in the middle of the night they did like
Oh, Rocky Horror
Yeah.
Picture Show.
Oh, you don't like
I'm your wife. I'm so related to you. I could get he's like, the thing, and I'm like Rocky Horror Picture Show. And he's like, yes, dear.
that should
I
be
feel like I should just go kiss your cheeks and comb your hair.
that should be a category for next year's award show where I just throw out some vague information that there's no way to guess what I'm thinking of and you guess it.
Like one time he was sitting there and he was like, it's the car, but it's not
Samantha
this
does it
car.
to me, too.
It's
Yeah.
the thing. It's the other car. And I'm like, Ranchero. And he's like, yes.
We spend too much time together.
It's the opposite
Wow.
of the El Camino.
That's
It's the
impressive.
Ranchero. And I go, Ranchero all day. And then we high five.
Holy shit.
So the
What? Did you curse?
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no. See, I got my eagle ears on today.
I'm so sorry, Sam.
Drop down and get your eagle ears.
That's my first one though ever.
what's the age
You're fine.
where you stop going to New Year's Eve parties?
I'm past it, so you tell me.
Yeah. I think it's like
I'm past it.
30.
I think it's
6.
35.
No,
yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah, no, you're
36.
kissing it. I think maybe 35 is your last one.
Oh,
Yeah,
this will be my last
I
one,
think
guys.
35 might be your last. You do
Are you
not
going
look
to-
35, by the way. So well done, Indian.
All right.
Seriously, I
think.
look right at you and I'm like, there's no. Whenever you say that, I'm like, there's no way she's 35.
I remember when I was in high school.
What about events? What about like concerts on New Year's?
That's a
different.
Because I'll
No
tell
go?
you.
No go?
That's my favorite one, dude, of
Yeah.
all time.
Me and Daniel,
Favorite
we
one.
were
Because
with our wives.
it's between a show at Will's Pub or Seth Petrozelli's party, and I don't know which one to go to.
Going to New Year's Eve concerts, I approve of.
All right.
We did Billy Joel, and then secretly,
That was a good time.
Rufus Wainwright opened for. I was freaking out. I love Rufus Wainwright, and that was my favorite. That one was legitimately good. I mean, from beginning to end, like when we left, it was one of those New Year's. I didn't get too hammered or anything like that. It was like I remembered it. You know what I mean? Like that was a goodie.
Yeah.
That was a goodie.
Plus, it was a celebration. You know, you're seeing Billy Joel and like, I don't know. That seems you go to a New Year's Eve house party.
Oh,
that
Brian
seems,
Johnson from AC/DC was in the audience. Billy Joel brought him on stage. They did Highway to Hell.
Come
it was
on.
awesome, dude.
That's cool.
Like, are you 40 still going to like a New Year's Eve house party? I mean, as if you're Seth, you are, but
well,
everybody
he's having it. I think that.
But everybody's in their
does
20s.
Does
that are
he
there.
get a little? Does he get a pass for hosting it?
And for having a good house,
Correct.
because that's key.
And a young girlfriend, I think, gives him points too, because he's expected to not cash in as early because he has youngness
true.
pulling him across the line.
She wants
right?
to party still.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's 22, so all her
She's
friends
a sweetheart
are,
too. I got a really nice email from her. Tracy's good people. She's good.
and
Best part of Seth is Tracy.
and then
Did I
there's
say that? Is that mean?
there's like downtown. I remember I went to a New Year's Eve
New Year's
party.
Eve downtown, that ends at like 25, right?
Yeah. I think that was the last time I did it. We
Maybe
went down
even
to Church
before
Street.
that.
Possibly.
You know, because I remember after 21, starting, that's when you start to have the discussions of what's too old, right? After, at least for me, after 21, 22, you start going like, well, what do I do now? Because I've always been searching for 18, and then after that, searching for 21, and you get there, and then you're kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do now? What is a proper New Year's Eve soiree?
Yeah. I mean, but I think anytime in your 20s, like house parties, that kind of thing still works. But it's like when you start having kids and you get to a certain point where it's
Kids.
like, what are we doing? But even without kids, you get to a certain point where you're like, well, what am I doing here? Like I'm hanging out with
Friends?
I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to tell you
Some
something.
of us have friends, Tom.
You know what's funny is I'm going to tell you something
guess
that
you're right.
probably goes against. It doesn't go against, but it was just a different style of, and where in a weird way, I kind of wish you and Crystal had been my parents. Is that I don't believe my mom and dad ever let me share in a New Year's Eve. I was always held to my bedtime forever. Never not held to my bedtime. It didn't matter if it was Christmas. It didn't matter if it was New Year's Eve. Bedtime was bedtime. Maybe a little bit later, but not midnight. Are you insane? You're a child.
There were no
how old?
bedtimes in my house.
What now?
Up until how old? Because I
mean-
feel like you get to like 13, you're staying up till midnight,
I
right?
didn't.
I wish I could have traded with you because my childhood was being forced to stay up that late. I like to sleep, and then my grandma would have a pot full of water. It's like, put all your negative energy into this pot, and we'll throw it out the window. I was just like, this is...
What?
Whoa. I love crazy grandma stories.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
do it. Let's do it.
So it's like a Hispanic tradition. You get a pot full of water, and everybody goes up to the pot, and all the negative stuff from the air and all of the bad things that happen, you wish into this
That's
pot.
what the Jews do. Remember, Ari
Ari.
Shafir was telling us the Jewish people
With
during
the ducks or something,
yeah, they
right?
they can get an animal, and then you basically
chickens.
you transfer your sins to the animal, and then you
Sacrifice the
sacrifice
animal.
and butcher the animal. Kind of interesting.
It's a lot of these cultures that still believe in magic.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, like, but there's always tradition and little
Yeah.
things that you do to start. I mean, like, white people cook up, we cook up meals, right? And we're like, we ate I ate my black-eyed peas. I'm good for that's magic, too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
dumber magic.
but I hated it.
And there's grapes involved, right? That one,
Grapes?
My Hispanic friends from Miami did grapes a lot for New Year's Eve.
What do you mean did grapes?
Like they eat grapes. They have some of
I
them
eat
grapes.
grapes.
Yeah.
No, but like
Is that good for your
specifically
year?
for New Year's Eve.
Really?
I've
Some
never heard
sort
of that
of
one.
grapes.
We
you
did
gotta-
like-
you got to walk it across the living room between your cheeks.
and if you drop it, you eat it. Yeah. Same thing for like any service club or.
It's the 12 grapes of luck.
Nope.
It's a Spanish tradition that consists of eating a grape with each clock bell strike at midnight of December 31st to welcome
That's
the new
fat.
year.
Eat your grapes.
Yeah. It was
Eat 'em
something like that.
faster.
Wow, I'd never heard of that one.
I've never heard of that either. But
That's a new one, TC. That's good, man.
I don't
The
know.
12 grapes of luck.
Or is that Cuban? What are you, Pabon? Are you Puerto Rican? What are you?
I want you to guess. What is it?
Peruvian.
Hold on, I have to look at you. I have to look at you. Really profiling hard. You're Colombian.
How long are you going to
No.
I'm Puerto Rican.
I knew it.
Oh, I said
My
the worst
first
thing I
guess.
can say, right?
No, I don't care. I don't care at
I
all.
forget how does the politics work? Like,
Cubans and Puerto Ricans don't get along.
Okay.
That's what.
but I thought Colombians don't. They
Colombians, well, like a lot of Colombians and Venezuelans, I think,
Yeah.
don't get along.
well, is it because they're like Venezuela is the best, Colombia is the best?
So, yeah, something like that. And then
What about Uruguay, Paraguay? Where are they at?
I think they're fun. I think they're fun together.
My favorite, Chile. That's my favorite.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
the most
yeah.
fun to say.
It is the Chile.
Chile.
It's just fun. It's like nice Chile. And delicious.
So, Pabon, do you have any like a lot of people contracting you to do some Christmas art this year and
Yeah.
end of the year stuff?
This time of year is when it gets the craziest. In fact, I have all my commissions done. What is today? Like the 13th?
Well, it's
I
the
have no idea.
27th. How
27th.
dare you?
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, how could you mess up those
I'm sorry.
dates?
I was time
It's
traveling.
the 27th, and we're all tired out from the big holiday.
Exactly. It was a great time. Yeah, it gets crazy, but I got everything done. If anybody needs commissions any time of the year, they can hit me up. I mean, birthday presents, anniversaries, things like that. It makes you look like you're super invested and care a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's to get the custom gift that's a piece of art and it's like you and your dog. It's just cool to have something that you can't buy at a store.
And it's different than some of the services that big corporations provide where they'll just take like a picture of your dog and then put its head on anything.
Right.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah,
the same. That's not what this is. This is an actual like thought out and original piece of art.
Eric, do you think that we'll get to a point, because I've seen that there are certain filters and like computer programs that will take a picture and make it look like a painting?
Yeah.
And, this is, it's been popular for a while, but they're getting better and better to the point where it's like, is that a painting? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I assume that that's going to get better and better, where they're starting to, like, the program's going to be able to use AI to put even, like, more of the human element into it, where they'll start adding in, like, certain mistakes and things to,
I've
like, to make it
seen one that actually takes the photo and then it basically breaks down where in its logical mind, where I'm talking about a computer, would start. Like, it's like, oh, here's where I would start if I were an actual artist. It wouldn't start from the top and printer it, all the way down. It would like actually start in there's some like computer styled logic.
Yeah. I
based
think it's
on
the
it.
same thing as music. It's like now you can support musicians and it's sort of an internal thing. It's like I can listen to this for free or I can buy the vinyl and I can pay you and I can support what you're doing. It all comes down to your personality. If you're into supporting art and artists and growing that scene and having a community around you that does that, that's like your wheelhouse. And those people will always come to people like me and say, I want you to do something custom.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm just wondering if we're gonna get to a point where, like, if you want like someone to paint a picture of your family, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which you could just take the picture of your family and then make it look like a painting.
People do that
Well,
now.
that exists now, yeah.
I
I have a lot of people who do that, and then they're dissatisfied with the results, whether it's
Yeah.
like a Simpsons thing or whatever. They say, like, hey, man, can you fix this? Because it's just not quite personal
Yeah,
enough.
you had that for a while where people would go to these, like, I was kind of referencing it, these corporate, almost like art farms where you send your, it's all a program. You send your picture of your family. It runs it through some Simpsons filter and makes your family sort of look like yellow people or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of times that will be there's flaws in it because it can't. I mean, everybody's unique, right? I mean, everybody looks different. You know, your kid, you might have a kid that looks a special way, or who knows? You might be missing a limb.
Yeah.
You know, how do they? You know, the computer isn't looking for that, right? I mean, you actually need a human being to look at it and throw some love onto it to actually make it true piece of art. But I saw you were actually fixing one of those, weren't you? Didn't some guy use the thing? I saw it on his Facebook. So some guy used this, let's say, Simpson generator for a gift, and then it came out like a hunk of crap, and then he sent it to Pabon and said, "Can you fix this?" And Pabon's like, "I'll just do it.
Yeah, just
I'll just
redid it.
start from scratch and actually draw it with because I'm an artist instead of running it through some dumb filter."
Yeah.
It's just you get what you pay for. You absolutely get what you pay for. There's no I don't think that will ever change.
Well, it will change once we get to the point where the computers are doing they're so good.
It will get
that
better
it can
and better,
impossible to tell, which is scary because that's like to the point where no need for humans.
Then
anymore.
it just comes down to like I said, the personal thing. It's like I'm wearing fake Jordans or real Jordans. Only I know.
You're right.
Yeah.
But
It's we've never really talked about this, but where is for you, because I use my iPad and my Apple Pencil a lot, but for notes, I'm not an artist really. I mean, I guess I am. I mean, with what we do here, but I'm not a visual artist. So was there a disconnect, or was it difficult for you to transition to like a stylist over like a true, because there is something that I still enjoy about, like, Tom has my perfect writing set up in front of him. A blank piece of computer paper with a mechanical pencil. I love the feeling of a mechanical pencil. I love the way the graphite grips the paper. I love that little bit of vibration, friction, whatever you want to call it. There's a smoothness to it, and I can get that edge of that graphite angled down, so it just, when I write it, just there's something very satisfying to it. I was explaining this to you when we were at the Winter Park boat parade. There's something satisfying, like, when you take a Lego and you slide it over the when you're putting it in the right spot, but when you go to push it down, you don't have to put a lot of effort onto it, and it just kind of sets into place. There's something very satisfying about that.
Dude, I have this conversation all the time, especially when like younger artists are asking for advice. I'm an old head, man. Like there is something about pencil on paper.
You can feel it.
And it took me a long time to transition over to digital, even after it became the industry standard, which has been forever.
It's hard for me to write on this pad because there's no friction. Like my it's like, whoa.
Well, I had to buy like they call it paper-like, that you put over the glass so that it gives you the illusion of having that.
I need that.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, that's the same thing old men said about typewriters and everything. It
I
eventually
know.
died. So, okay,
No, I know. I get it. But there is a feeling. It's I do enjoy that feeling. Like I'm jealous of anybody that learned to draw on a pad. If you like the feeling of the pad, which I'm sure there are people that, oh man, that feels so good. I mean, I'm jealous of that, because when I write on this pad, sometimes I won't recognize my handwriting, or my handwriting will be different because I'm not completely efficient with it yet.
But now I'm using pencil and paper so much less frequently. I do it to shake the rust off, because you get so used to one thing over the other. It's like, man, I'm feeling like I haven't done this in months. And I don't want to lose a step there, because that's how it came up.
Interesting.
So,
Pabon, where can people find your art? Where can people commission all that stuff?
artofericpabon.com. It is my website, and I pay for it because I'm a sucker. So all my links are there. You can contact me through the site, on Facebook, Art of Eric Pabon, Instagram, all that stuff. Yeah, commissions. I've got art up there for sale. Poster prints, 11 by 17 stuff that looks cool hung up on the wall.
You got anything out in the wild right now that people can go see?
Still an Hourglass?
Yeah, I have stuff up at Hourglass. I try to do that show every month.
Nice.
And Hourglass is such a cool spot for artists. If you're an artist, or you want to get into being an artist, that's the place to go.
They're very good to artists. They really are. They'll hang things up in there, put commissions up in there, try to sell art for people.
Yeah.
They'll talk about it. And it's very visible. Like, they don't just shove it in the bag. They put it in a nice spot where while you're ordering a beer, you can kind of walk over and peruse it and see if you want to pick up a last-minute gift. I mean, you can even buy the stuff that's there.
Yeah, this month, everything that's on the wall you can buy and take home same day if you need.
Oh, nice. So you can take it home same day. That's a big deal. Normally, they would flag it. commission, talk to the artist, get the payment, and then you go and get it. Well, that's very, very cool, man. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome to see you again.
Yep, thanks, Eric. We appreciate it. And we're going to have some Tom and Dan stuff up at Hourglass coming up next year.
For sure.
Same thing we did last time that Pabon drew for us so that, there's so much Tom and Dan
feeling we'll be
artists.
popping by there a little bit more
Yeah.
when January hits.
All right, we'll be right back.
It is another A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Daniel Dennis.
I'm Thomas Van.
Along with us, as always, is our serious and no-nonsense producer, Samantha Ann.
Har.
Hello.
With us on the couch today
Is
from Cinema Crespodiso podcast,
Christopher Crespodiso.
Yeah.
Hello.
How you doing, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Oh,
Good.
I didn't turn your camera on so people can see you. Now people can see you.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How
What's
you doing?
new in the entertainment, movie, TV world?
It's the end of the year type of stuff. We're getting into dramas for we get to holiday dramas plus Oscar-y stuff, and then TV. There's always new things flipping around, things ending.
Tom's got a new show he wants to tell you about.
No, well,
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting for you to come in, Chris, and Samantha saw the movie. Dan, did you see it? Home Sweet Home
I did.
Alone? Okay.
I did. I've been watching movies. In fact, I prepared for today's segment. I have watched 2 holiday movies. I've watched Home Sweet Home Alone and 8-Bit Christmas.
Nice. That's a Netflix one.
HBO.
HBO.
HBO is awesome.
So when I first heard about the Home Alone reboot, the Home Sweet Home Alone, I saw the cast and I was like, oh, cool. They got some SNL people on there.
They have a good cast, yeah.
Well, I
And the
knew-
kid from Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit Nazi kid. And so I knew that we had Home Alone, Home Alone 2, and I also knew of a Home Alone 3 that starred, because I saw it in the theater, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
man.
the deals, yeah.
It starred another kid, not Macaulay Culkin. Where I got lost somewhere is there's a Home Alone 4.
Direct to video.
Yeah, that I
Wow.
completely didn't know about.
There's
I
a
don't-
whole series of them. It's crazy.
And that was during a time where they're just trying to monetize off the
I put it in
brand
I
of
put
the
it in
first
the
one,
same
right?
Yeah.
category as the Beethoven movies.
Okay.
Yeah, they made like 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah.
They
Or
were
The
a
Land
lot.
Before Time, they made 13 of those. That's back when home video was a market and you could crank out DVDs and make so much money. That's how you
Sure.
end up with Aladdin 3 and stuff like that.
Right.
Yep.
So here's why Home Sweet Home Alone is a hunk of garbage. So this is gonna, have spoilers. So if you were thinking about watching it and you don't want it to be spoiled, stop listening.
All right, I'll take my headphones
I
off.
think maybe though we went at this with the wrong filter, but I'll let you continue.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I went at it with a totally open mind, hoping for, some of the comedy, some of the,
Well, I
the
just
gags.
think we may have a backfire on our hands.
What do you mean?
Okay, most people that I know, including the chat room right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, we're live on Twitch, they say, and they all agree, the kid in Home Sweet Home Alone, the newest one, is the bad guy.
Yeah. 100%.
Everybody says that. So I think that it was engineered specifically for that. I think they knew that.
So
I don't think it's coming off wrong. I think
You
that
think,
they
you think that's the intention of the movie?
Yeah.
Purposefully made
I
him
think
the
they
bad
flipped
guy.
the franchise.
Whether
a
or not
little
it's
bit.
good or bad, that's just what they set out to do.
There you go.
Yes, and people just don't like it.
Yep.
And they see it as a flaw, but it's not a
Not a flaw.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature because they've made we got up to 4 different Home Alones where the kid's trying to defend his house, and they were like, in this one, why don't we make the kid
The terrible kid?
Yeah, what if he was doing this
He
to
was a
people
terrible
that
kid.
didn't necessarily? Maybe there's a misunderstanding, and this kid's still going full Home Alone ham on these guys, but it's not needed. Let's flip the franchise a little bit.
Well, I mean, if that was their intention, they were wrong. Because I'll tell you why.
Okay,
because,
fine.
right.
Nobody
fine.
wanted
That's fair.
that.
That's
Because-
fair.
Yes,
That's fair.
What Samantha said.
That's fair.
Nobody wanted it, and you had the perfect opportunity to do a reboot with good actors, a good budget. They had obviously they had the amount of actors.
Who's
to
the
make
guy? Ellie Kemper and the guy they're great. They're both fantastic
Oh,
in the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Rob Delaney.
Rob
Yeah.
Delaney is the movie to me. That guy made the movie. He's great.
He was the best part
He's
of the movie.
fantastic.
That's good casting if you're gonna like update
I was
Home
at-
Alone.
Those
and,
two
Yes.
people are
Pete
funny,
Holmes
dude.
was in that movie.
Yeah.
Like they had a lot of
He
good
was
people.
Pete Holmes was great in the movie.
I enjoy Pete Holmes.
And I even like the fact that they did a little throwback to the original where the brother
Buzz.
Buzz, yeah.
Buzz was
He's like he shows up or something.
he was
right?
He was a cop.
Yeah.
Of course
okay,
he's a
there you
cop
go,
because
yeah.
the worst people become cops.
Yeah.
Officer McAllister. They actually had a lot of different like
Easter eggs.
to
Yeah.
the original.
They hid some stuff in there for
which
sure.
is fine and which you needed to do, obviously, for the nostalgia of the movie.
They did a
but-
big weight loss reveal of the pigeon lady. Did you see that?
No, I
Have
did
you
not.
seen her? My God, she looked from hot.
she ate
She
those
went from
pigeons.
not to hot.
She ate those pigeons, right?
She looks wonderful.
She looks
now.
good.
Yeah.
Good for her.
The problem with it is the writing, and I'll explain. The whole purpose of the Home Alone premise,
the plot. Yeah.
the plot was always, all right, the kid gets left home alone. It's in the GD title.
It's a fish out of water home defense movie.
And then he's
Or the second one especially.
he's setting traps and he's using these traps to defend his house from bad guys.
Yes.
Right? And that was
Good versus evil in a Three Stooges scenario.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why my sons found the first Home Alone so hilarious. Why
Did
I
they enjoy
liked,
it? They watched it?
They loved
like
it.
It didn't feel old to them or anything like that?
They loved it. They loved
Maisie the same way.
Wow.
Holds up. She will belly laugh so hard she started farting.
I forgot the actor's name, but
Seriously.
the tall, skinny guy,
Daniel
Daniel
Stern.
Stern.
Daniel Stern, when he gets electrocuted,
He's the
turns
best.
into a
Oh,
skeleton.
skeleton. Hilarious.
They laughed and laughed.
He retweeted my Lego tweet, by the way. Thank you, Daniel Stern.
Aw,
That's
nice.
pretty cool.
They also laughed every time the bad guys got hurt,
Yep.
blowtorch the head,
Yeah,
stepped
Joe
on the...
Pesci's head on fire.
Yeah.
Also, Joe Pesci is an amazing actor,
He's
so
great.
you give him something easy to do, and he's going to crush it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's going to be, oh, you want me to get my head burned? Watch this.
Yeah, just when he's like, "Hey, kid," and he winks at him, you're like, "Oh man, this
Yeah.
guy's so
Yeah.
The
good."
best scene, and they include this in the Lego set, is the opening scene when Joe Pesci's the cop.
Yeah, staking out the place.
They put the cop hat in the Lego set.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that's the thing. That's the key to it. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern is
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're badasses, dude. They're amazing
They're
American.
great.
They're
They're great
American
actors.
icons. Like
Yeah.
those guys, as far as actors go, put them on, chisel them.
and they're good at being villains,
Yes,
which
they're good at anything.
therefore makes you laugh, and especially makes kids laugh. Because I watch my sons, because we watch, and this is an experiment too. That I watched the original Home Alone with my sons, and this new version, which Max stopped watching and left the room because he
Wow.
hated
It
it
was
so
a
much.
walkout.
wow.
And which is hard to get a 6-year-old to walk out. And here's the problem: is it
Now, Maisie played with toys during it, but she did stay there.
okay,
But it
still.
wasn't an attention grabber. It is not
It was a distracted
It is
viewing.
not a drop all your things and rush to the
Interesting.
yeah.
So
Wow.
here's where they screwed up, and this is the inherent flaw of the whole movie. Is they made Rob Delaney and what's her name, Ellie Kemper.
Yeah.
They were the robbers. They were the Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern in this movie, where they're trying to break into the house
get
and the
the
kid's
doll.
trying to. But they're trying to do it, and there's a spoiler to get something back to save their own family home.
It was a family heirloom that they believed was stolen from them. They thought
By
the
the
kid
kid.
stole it, so they went to his house to retrieve it.
So they had a noble intention.
Yes!
and they wanted to sell and they wanted to sell the heirloom to save their house because they were like they couldn't afford their
Yeah,
house.
So they're the good guys.
Yes.
They are, and I think
And
that
they
was
didn't even
all
try
by
and break
design.
into the house
No.
in a malicious way. They
In
tried
fact,
knocking on the door.
The
Oh, that's
best
horrible.
scene,
It's
the
bad.
best scene is the scene where Rob Delaney goes up to the door and he has this internal dialogue
Yes.
where he's going in and out of should he do it, should he not do it,
Right.
and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
The jokes that he puts in there are awesome.
But I don't know why they did it that way, because then the whole time the boys setting the traps and hurting these people, and my sons felt bad for them. They're like,
Yeah.
why are they hurting them? They're just trying to get back their thing. And they didn't even understand it. And I watched my sons compute it in their mind, just like they did the first one. They understand perfectly the first one. They're like, these are the bad guys, and they deserve to get hurt. Because
A fundamental misunderstanding of what makes Home Alone work.
Yeah,
what makes comedy work.
Yeah.
To be like, we're going to make these people sympathetic and then torture them
But
with a
here's the
child
thing.
who's supposed to be your hero.
Here's where it went wrong, though, is that Delaney and Kemper do their roles, and we like them, right?
Yeah.
Even though she had a little controversy, wasn't even controversy, but we all like them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do their roles so good that then you do feel bad for them because you're like, well, there's no quality here of them. They're not at all. Like I kept waiting for them to go too far.
Yeah, like the Wet Bandits. he goes too far when he floods everyone's homes. Like, why are you doing that? Because it's
Yeah.
our thing.
Yeah,
These
it's
guys
our-
are
it's our
jerks.
calling
They're flooding
card.
homes.
Yeah.
And at some point,
Spoiler alert, they end up taking this damn kid home to their home to have him stay at his house and their house until his parents come back.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most
yeah.
sinister
Which I'm like,
thing.
screw this kid.
That's
Don't
the
take
most
him in.
sinister thing you can do,
That's how
though,
nice
is
they
to
are.
invite an enemy to your home.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that is
break bread with your enemy.
Sinister.
That kid was
evil.
a jerk
He's
from
evil
the get-go,
people.
even to his own mom.
Hold on, now I want Chris to watch this movie and come back.
I think you're right. I think it was supposed to be this kid
Yeah.
is the jerk the whole time.
I think he was supposed to be the jerk the whole time. But
why
we
would they
can't-
do that?
we
That's
can't-
horrible writing.
Right.
It's terrible,
You can't
yeah.
wrap your brain around it. That's my point, is that they did this thinking that we could handle it, and we can't handle it.
Well, it's not
No.
that we can handle it. You're bad writing. The story, you ruined the story because
We're not ready for the kid to be the bad guy yet.
Well, it's not even already. It's a horrible writing. Like, I'm blaming the writers in this 100%.
But you're saying there's only one way the story can be told, and it's if the kid is the victim. So it can't work any other way. Maybe it just can't work.
It can't work. It could work easily if the two people trying to break into the house were the villains.
Yeah.
And you screwed it up by making you sympathetic towards them, and then
Yeah, like, oh man, they're gonna lose their house if they don't get this thing back.
Yeah.
and you didn't even
And
really,
I can't even remember the ending because I was falling asleep.
you didn't
No.
even make the kid that much, because then at the end it was like, oh, it's a whole misunderstanding. We'll help you, kid. It's like everybody wins. Like the whole point is to make the villains lose at the end, right?
Yeah,
like
it's like remaking the first Purge, but the people trying to get inside the house are like, we left something. This is our old house.
Yeah.
I left my medicine in there.
Right.
And they were like, we got to kill these guys. It's Purge night.
Okay, yeah, so Double Dag in our Twitch chat room might have hit on the problem here. If you make the kid the bad guy, then there must be some sort of consequences. The Wet Bandits, the consequences are we know they go to jail. You know, we know the cops
And they were
are-
getting hurt the whole time.
Correct.
This kid just hurts other people.
This
the
kid
whole
just
time.
hurts other people, and then at the end, everybody's like,
Everyone takes them in
it's
and they're like,
fine.
Merry Christmas.
It's
Screw
fine.
that.
It sounds like the birth of a very strong fetish for that child, actually.
Right?
Be hurting people at that young age and
gonna
then
be
be
a serial
rewarded
killer.
for it. Yeah, it's bad.
There
That's
is
bad
a
news for
disconnect
me.
there, though. I will say my daughter played with toys and watched it and laughed at people getting hurt. I don't know what that says about her.
Oh,
But
that's just comedy.
yeah, I mean,
comedy classic
she
right
didn't
there.
really latch onto the story. I don't think she understood what was happening other than people getting hurt.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and they made it seem in the movie like because then make the kid a full villain and go, but they didn't do that. They made the kid look like he was kind of defending his house because he didn't know what the intentions of these two people they were trying to break into the house were.
Yeah.
So essentially, it was kind of the plot where it's like he's defending the house because he thinks these people are out to get him.
Yeah.
I mean, he legitimately thought that in the movie. Like, he didn't think
That's
that,
right, because if you're going to make him the full villain, because spoiler alert again,
Yeah.
he didn't even steal
He
the
didn't
damn
even
thing.
steal it, yeah.
So if you're going to make him the bad guy, make him steal the thing, right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
then so like, oh, these guys, well, I'm gonna show them. Yeah, because you didn't even do that. It was like some hybrid where
It was
like,
weird.
Okay, you know what
bad
would've
writing,
been-
horrible writing, and I blame everybody in the damn movie for not
Oh,
like
it's Keenan's fault.
For no one fixing it?
Keenan,
The
oh, I
SNL
forgot Keenan is in there.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
he's a
in
writer, like
a lot of
these-
SNL people.
Yeah.
all these people.
It was stacked deck.
And there are a lot of good writers, and so for them not to realize that this is because they could have easily made like Rob and Ellie, like, by tweaking it a little bit, actually made them the villain. And because they could do, I mean, they're good actors, they could have done it, and you could have fixed the movie by making them legitimately.
I wonder if
bad.
they were, a lot of times though, they were just trying to, like, what if they're trying to do this without there being a clear-cut bad guy? What if they're
Well,
just...
that's horrible writing.
Yeah, no, I understand what
No.
you're saying,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's got to be at least one person out there that enjoyed the movie that would say, "Oh, I enjoyed this version of Home Alone because of this."
There certainly are people because it doesn't have a 0% Rotten Tomatoes score, although it is very low.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think
low.
it's low
It is
because
low.
Because it's bad. It's low because it's bad.
Yeah.
It's 16%.
16%.
Oh boy, and
That's a
then
low one.
and it's not the type of thing where like, oh, critics are out of touch, blah, because the audience score is 12%.
Yeah,
So
because the audience.
No one
I think,
liked it.
yeah, critics
Yeah.
were better.
Why?
critics liked it a little
Well,
better.
they
Why
acting-
even take the Home Alone brand if you're going to rewrite the whole
Yes.
premise of the GD movie?
Yes, just
Like,
redo the first movie.
Yeah.
Just redo it.
I thought it would be cool if maybe they took this kid. If you're going to make him misguided, right? Because he's misguided. He thinks he's defending himself against these people, doesn't know why. They're trying to get their doll back. There's a misunderstanding there. It would have been funnier maybe if they even wove the first movie in as this kid using that as his, like, manual
Yeah.
to defend the house. You know what I mean?
He Googles like McAllister home
Right,
break-in,
and then he uses the old Home Alone as his, like, you needed to add something else too, maybe even as a distraction to make him like misguided, and then you needed to add more like versions of him not fully understanding what he's even doing. I think they were trying to make it like a misunderstanding Home Alone, and it just didn't work.
and that's a terrible approach.
It just didn't work
it
out.
is. Yeah. And because it's just as easy to get. I mean, even if you didn't go with those two actors, you can go with other actors that are like, that play good villains, or that are naturally like maybe have played villains in the past, so you already hate them.
Or
like
people that are just good at playing jerks, like a Will Arnett type. It would be good. He shows up like I can see this
He
guy
is a
getting hit in the
great
face, so
jerk,
we
yeah.
enjoyed it.
He just plays Job from Curb Your Enthusiasm, or not Curb, but
what's the other one on the one with Jason Bateman?
yeah, you know what I'm
Arrested
talking about.
Development.
Arrested Development. He plays, Job from that, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
because that's what makes you causing the villain's pain funny for the audience
Yes.
when you're like, they deserve it.
Yes.
And then when they don't deserve it, you're like, that kind of sucks. You're hurting them so bad
Yeah.
for trying to get the thing that they believe you stole to try to save their family home. And then that's why my son walked out. And my son, like, he's 6 years old. He's like,
son,
I'm out.
yeah, he's like, I don't like it. He's like, I don't like this. And he liked the first one. He didn't like it because it was like, why are you hurting these people? He's just trying to get their stuff back.
You should
Anyway.
show him the second one, Lost in New York.
We
you
did.
know?
They liked this
yeah,
one.
the second one holds
Okay.
up, too.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's not as good, but it's still fun.
Yeah, May doesn't like it as much. She
Yeah.
likes the first one, tried and true.
Yeah.
Because it was slower, and then and they only like the end where they're
We're all waiting for that when he breaks out that homemade map of that bespoke map of traps that looks amazing when you're a child. You're like, oh my god, I want to make one of those.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
What
also,
have you been
like,
watching?
Yeah, like, this would take you.
Unfortunately,
2
not
weeks.
this. I guess maybe I will. I mean, maybe
No,
I will
I
watch it and talk about it. I'll do a whole Patreon episode.
All right.
And I'll make Drew Cogburn watch it. He'll hate me. He may quit the show if I make him watch it. I'll check it out. Maybe it's on Disney Plus, right?
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah,
HBO. It's either on Disney, HBO. They're all. You spend the money, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, through the Apple TV app, I guess, like, everything gets curated into one area now. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
And then you can just hit play, and then you're just like some big fat. You don't even have to navigate anymore. You're just a big fat blob, and everything comes to one play. You're just like play.
It's just
play,
like in
play.
Wall-E, you're in a floating chair, giant.
It'll
drink.
automatically
Yeah.
switch to Hulu. It'll switch to Disney Plus.
That
You don't
sounds
need
aw-
nothing
that sounds
anymore,
awesome,
man.
Actually.
Well, while we're at it, I want to bitch about Yellowstone for a second.
No. Wait,
Because-
while we're
minute.
at what? Just
Okay.
bitching about things we don't like?
Before he bitches about Yellowstone, I need to preface this by saying not even 2 days ago we sat together watching a boat parade, and he gushed about how he is enjoying Yellowstone, and in 2 days' time he has
It's already
used his
soured.
He
mind
did the same thing with Squid Games.
to destroy something that he loved. In his mind, he was telling me about. He's like, "Yeah, me and Crystal, we enjoy it. We're enjoying it." And so, what happened in 2 days where
No, well-
you have destroyed it?
It's not destroyed. We're still watching it or whatever. It's a good.
Tracy
show.
says Yellowstone is amazing.
Well, okay.
Are you just watching Yellowstone,
the
or
writing.
there's all the
I'm not
the
watching.
side-offs?
I'm not
No,
watching. I
just-
feel like a documentary
spin-offs.
about Yellowstone National Park is boring as hell. I'm not gonna watch that.
Kevin Costner or not?
Yeah,
it's
well-
Oh,
boring.
it's a show.
Let me ask you this, Chris. So it seems
It's like Cowboy Sopranos, right?
Sort of, yeah.
it feels like, and that's what it is. Like it's like Cowboy Breaking Bad or whatever. It's like that
It's just
kind of
people doing people wrong in
Yeah.
the Midwest.
It's politics and land ownership and like feuding and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Everyone's duplicitous. You can't
Fine.
trust no one except for family. It's always family.
Here's my biggest problem with it.
You
is
always look out for family first.
Family.
I feel like, and maybe this is a thing because
Family first, Dylan.
it's on Peacock and they wrote it for maybe a more broad audience.
It was
and-
originally written, I think, for the Paramount Network, which I don't
Okay.
even know if it necessarily exists anymore. And I guess it's all owned by the same people because it's on Paramount. But I've been seeing ads for it on Peacock, so it's on Peacock also.
It is on.
Yeah. And
But I think it was originally done through Paramount.
No, it's on
Yeah.
Paramount. Tracy's saying.
on
okay,
Paramount.
I'm watching it through Peacock. I don't know.
I keep seeing ads for it. Like I see ads for it on
See,
all.
that's
the
what I'm
services.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's all you get a morph into one big button. You just hit the play
It is,
button.
it is
Yeah.
easier that way for sure.
Yeah, you get it on demand on Peacock. If you're watching it live, it's Paramount.
There you go. Thank you. See, it's split up.
It seemed like the writing, like for instance, and I don't want to give spoilers, but there's one particular character where so many things are happening to this one guy that it becomes ridiculous.
That happened to The Sopranos.
Yeah,
that happened to The Sopranos with like you had certain characters like Paulie
it's
Walnuts.
like lazy writing.
We still don't know what happened to Paulie Walnuts and the Russians in the woods, right?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that they left hanging.
People that are listening to this will know the comparison to Yellowstone. This but he's shooting them in the woods, and you're like, we have to know what happens here, and they never went back to it ever.
Well,
and it almost ruined the show for me. I finished it out, but I was like,
I give a pass to The Sopranos because just by being mobsters, I assume, and this is just like creative writing or whatever, giving them a pass, where it's like, all right, you're mobsters, so more bad stuff is going to come to you.
Because you're in a bad environment.
Yeah, you're
All right, fair enough.
You're going to be around more nefarious people and have business dealings with more nefarious people that could come hurt you more than the average person. So then, so many things happening to The Sopranos and the characters in The Sopranos, I give a pass to you because I'm like, all right, that probably happens to people in the mafia around bad people all the time.
But in Yellowstone, he's just like grazer, cattle grazer, rancher.
It's not even, and they're dealing with bad people, but this one particular character has random horrible stuff. There's like once in a lifetime things that would happen to you, or you come across all the GD
my arm
time.
fell off. What?
That sounds very Orby to me.
Yeah, people in the chat room are saying this person is you.
No. I mean, to the
Game
point
recognized game.
where it's like, how many people want to kill you randomly? It's not even like part of the business and the thing. You're just random, like, homeless guy walks up, asks for money, and then you don't give it to him. He takes offense to it. He tries to cut you, and then you have to kill. Meth lab blows up. Like you come across a pedophile in a van. It's like all the. It's like how.
It's like
how
it's
many
like
times?
every week.
How many people you have to kill?
The worst Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I killed a bum last week. Then this week, I drove up. I
you never say
a pedophile.
And you never say like, why is this so many bad
Why
things
is this happening to me, God?
You never.
I wish I never
questioned it.
I should have never moved to Yellowstone.
And my wife yells at me. She's like, just part of the script. Just enjoy things. Enjoy something. And I'm like, I can't.
I like that you hate that there's actual like things happening on
Drama.
the show.
Too
It's
much
like,
drama.
You want to just be a boring show?
Also, the
know,
realest thing that you described on a cattle show, I guess, about land. Like they're trying to make it like these guys are interweaving politics. It's like The Sopranos. The realest thing that happened on that is homeless man attacks him. You had to kill him. That's the realest thing that happens on the show.
Well, the other writing,
everything else, and that doesn't happen with cattle.
Like the other writing is decent enough where they actually took some time to think about like the politics involved into like land ownership and try to raise people's taxes, and then you got the Indian reservation and the cowboys and that kind of thing. Like they put a bunch of thought into like complicated issues that make sense. It's like, oh, I bet that would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll
probably need something to boost somebody's character arc, right? Like they need to keep that. They need to give that guy some visible time, so by when you get to the end, when he goes gay, you'll know who he was. You know, like
so he stands out.
Yeah, like if they don't give people enough like screen time, then you get to the end and you're like, well, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, the payoff doesn't work.
And now he revealed to us that he's the murderer, or he's gay, or he's like he was the guy the whole time.
It just it feels lazy, like you're writing for dumb people. Like
you're
You
watching it.
probably figured it out. I bet you if you had one of the writers right now of that show and they heard what you were saying, you probably found something that they were trying to cleverly hide. You know, like that thing that sticks out to you obviously sticks out for a reason. If it were really well written, you know, it wouldn't stick out, is my point.
Yeah.
Like all the rough edges would be smoothed out. Every little thing would be tied and in its place.
It becomes unrealistic where you're just like, all right, how many times is this guy going to encounter
Everybody
some
loves this Yellowstone show, me in the chat
It's
room.
very popular.
It's good.
extremely popular.
But
show.
I'll
is
still
it
watch
good?
I think it is well reviewed. It's co-done by the guy who did Boardwalk Empire, Terrence Winter.
Okay.
And this dude, Taylor Sheridan, who's a writer and director. He wrote like Sicario.
Here's
he
the thing
did
that I
Hell or
don't-
High Water.
here's
Like he
the-
does some good, tough movies.
Here's the thing that's hard for me to latch on, though, is it's very difficult for me to think that this would really happen. Do they do a decent job?
No, they do a decent job, but the general plot of the whole show, it probably has happened. Not only it's probably still happening. Where there's gigantic landowners feuding with,
Yeah, wasn't there like a landowner standoff like 7 years ago?
Yeah.
A bunch of guys were like, "You can't. There's federal land. Like, nope, it's our land," and they pointed guns at people and stuff.
I mean, I'm sure this continues to happen. Then you got like the Indian Native American reservation and the politics behind that, and because they run their rules totally different and not even under the rules of this.
And the guy who wrote the show wrote a movie called Wind River, which has Jeremy Renner in it, and it's the same thing where a crime happens on a reservation, and
that was a good one.
Yeah, and he goes and investigates the crime, and he has to deal with the local politics of the reservation and stuff, and trying to find out what happened, who did the murder. It's a pretty intense movie.
That sounds a lot like a Witness almost.
Yeah, it's like an updated Witness. Yeah,
like
it's interesting.
I like that where there's limitations on what you can and can't do, and then there's like socioeconomic. Then throw a little religion in there, culture on there. And we can't do that because of this. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
It's interesting. It's good.
All right, Chris, let's talk about
feel better now?
some Christmas movies. No, I don't feel better. I never feel better.
I'm glad you got that up. I'm glad
I
you
just
got
yell
that
about
off
it. I still think about it. I still mad about
And
it.
even if it goes away, just something else takes its place.
Yeah.
You know what stinks?
Venting doesn't work.
2
for
days
me.
ago, 2 days ago he liked it. Now he's in his head about it, and he and his wife will continue marching on down the path, and he'll just have to sit there quietly and not point out the things he sees that he hates.
Maybe they'll fix it in his eyes, and it'll flip back around and start liking it.
Let me know.
Yeah, like some people, they tell you what they're mad about, and they're like, "All right, now I feel
better." Yeah,
I'm like, I still mad about it. I'm equally, and now that I've said it out loud, I'm more mad. I'm more mad at the sense I just made.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got for holiday movies around this time, end of the year? Because people are trying to release stuff for 2021 to be in the Oscars this year, right?
Yeah, when you're talking about like Oscar movie stuff for things still coming out, I mean, it's not a Christmas movie, but it's what's coming out and what people are going to be talking about for the next couple months. First off, Denzel Washington looking like he's going to get nominated for Macbeth. He's got a Tragedy of Macbeth movie coming out, black and white, with also Frances McDormand. So she gets nominated for everything these days.
Is this
anyway.
an updated?
It's like an updated. It's one of the Coen
I was gonna
brothers.
say, isn't it Coen brothers?
Yeah, it's Joel Coen.
Oh, great.
So it'll probably be a little quirky, but still Shakespearean. It's getting pretty good reviews, so that's coming out here pretty soon. And then also, Licorice Pizza is coming out Christmas Day. Expect that to get like a bunch of nominations and be a pretty big one for people to check out. That's the new
Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, as in a record, a vinyl is a Licorice Pizza. It's Paul Thomas Anderson, who did show favorite There Will Be Blood. Right, he's doing a movie about his sort of high school days, early 70s, San Fernando Valley, California, or San Bernardino, and it's one of the Haim singers. Well, I think the youngest Haim sister is the lead, and then the kid Cooper Hoffman is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. And it's sort of like a coming of age type of comedy thing, and it looks awesome. It's getting great reviews already, so expect people to talk about that. That's going to be a Christmas Day release. There's actually no like straight up that I can think of Christmas movies coming out this year, at least not in theaters. They're all on the streaming.
Yeah, it seems like they're all on the streaming.
Like I remember last year there was Happiest Season, was the Kristen Stewart one.
That one was.
You didn't like that one?
It was so overrated. Everyone was like raving about it, and I watched it, and I'm like, nah.
I enjoyed that. It was fun, but I feel like there isn't one like that this year.
Well,
though.
the 8-Bit Christmas, I know Samantha and Daniel watched that one.
Right.
I like.
Oh, you're right. So Home Sweet Home Alone was on Disney Plus. This is the one that was on HBO.
HBO.
The 8-Bit Christmas.
Yeah,
Correct,
8-Bit Christmas is on HBO.
And that's with
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I always call him Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
All right, old man.
I'm sure he loves that.
Wait
He
till you start
loves
calling him
that.
Gay Dude. I know you will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go old Gay Doogie.
Yeah.
I mean nothing bad.
I
Just
can't-
different time.
Isn't there a new Doogie? Right?
Yeah, girl
I don't
Doogie.
know.
A girl
There's
Doogie.
a girl Doogie.
There's a girl Doogie.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a show with a
Yeah.
girl Doogie.
Yeah.
It's a show with a girl Doogie. Hey, they call her that. They're like, you ever wonder why we call her Doogie? And they're like, yeah, it's because for Doogie Howser.
That can't happen in real life. Like no one's seeing a kid doctor.
Girl doctor.
I
Yeah,
don't want some little
refuse.
girl looking at my.
There's actually a
I
true crime
refuse.
story where a 16-year-old guy started working as a doctor, and he was clearly not qualified, and he ran that business for years. He's been thrown in jail like twice now.
That's so funny.
He came back. He
local?
got out. Yeah, it was from Florida.
He was
yeah.
local. Yeah, I remember that guy.
He got back out, started a new practice.
They call him like the Doogie Doctor. Like he's
Yeah,
like the
something
Doogie
like that, yeah.
scammer. Or
But
something.
he portrayed himself to be older, right? Like
He put on
was all a con
the
artist.
spirit
No,
gum
he-
fake mustache.
Yeah.
I think he started his scam by saying he was like an intern
Yeah.
type situation.
Ah,
He'd say like
yeah.
he's a what do you
So he
call
just
it? Like
threw
a
on he literally just threw on a lab coat
physician's
and walked
assistant.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got on his friend's shoulders and he put on a big jacket.
So I've always wanted to do that.
With 8-Bit Christmas, basically they're just trying to capitalize on nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
And like the 80s nostalgia of like all of our
It
generation.
worked for Stranger Things.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was good. It just seemed like, I don't know. I probably built it up in my mind a little bit. Like I wanted more. I will say one of the glaring things that I didn't like of 8-Bit Christmas is that their trailer is very much edited to appear as if they utilize graphics and technology, and it's edited a certain way, like hip and fast and quick, and the actual movie is not.
I get disappointed when the marketing does not reflect the mode or the tone of a movie.
Yeah, the tone is sort of there later in the movie, but in the beginning, it starts like, it might start like any other movie, and it doesn't have, like, you see like the traditional 80s synthwave style imaging.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie trailer. You don't see that in the movie.
It comes late in the movie.
You don't even really get it. You just
That's
get the
a bummer.
vibe. You
That's
get the vibe of
interesting.
the chase and the video games and that sort of thing.
I'm a vaporwave, synthwave nut. I love all that 80s aesthetic. Like
Yeah.
my show, all my like
Sure,
imaging looks
yeah.
like that.
You've been doing that for forever.
But don't you guys think now that it sounds like this movie's a few years late? Like
Yes.
everything now is Y2K nostalgia. Like all the Gen Z kids are doing
Yep.
Y2K parties and stuff, and they're dressing like we did in high school. I feel like the 80s nostalgia wave is over.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that
I
was
agree
like,
with you.
that was hot during the Stranger Things.
Yes,
the popularity.
I feel like
you
that
know?
was the peak of it right there.
Like
When
pre-pandemic.
everyone was like, we're all getting Moog synthesizers, and that was everything.
We're
for a while.
beyond that now.
Yeah, it's all blue pink lighting, that bisexual blue pink lighting.
Now, if they had kept it, like and gone all in, I think it would have worked better. But it
Go
still
all in.
works.
You
It's
gotta
a
go
good
all in.
movie. It's good. It's not great, but it's good.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Would my kids, like I
Yeah.
asked you guys, like would they like it?
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
Because a lot of times it's not that much action, nothing. I mean, it's too much
This has
dialogue.
a decent amount of action in it. Like, there's like a lot of like interesting character. The rich kid's funny.
Yeah, the
And
rich kid, then you got the bully.
The liar kid is
it's
funny.
basically a Christmas story, but in the 80s.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
Down with that. Christmas Story is a great story to adapt in any form.
Well, Christmas Story, one of the places that it excels is the characters are so over the top. Like the dad,
Yeah.
Ralphie, the little brother, all of them, the mom. They're all great, right?
Love it.
They all have redeeming qualities.
Yes.
They did that in this. They went through and they found you like the little liar kid. You got the older bully, the wimpy kid, the regular. You got to have a regular, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a Finn.
He's your
Wolf-
audience surrogate. He's looking around
Who's
like,
that
where are all
kid?
these weird people?
You got to have the Finn Wolfgram.
Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah, Wolf, whatever
Whatever
that
his name
you
is.
got to have the Normo.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what's your redeeming quality? Doesn't have one. He's the Normo.
He was just in the Ghostbusters movie that
Yep.
just came out that made less money than the all ladies one a
Really?
few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Opened to less money, made less money.
Uh-huh.
I heard everyone raving about this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. What'd you think about it?
It's okay.
I only heard.
Nothing but
I-
good things.
I really-
People crying in the theaters.
I didn't hear much.
I don't-
I didn't hear much about it. It was just
I
like
feel like it sort of came and went, and like
I
people
agree.
aren't really
Oh, I
talking about it.
disagree.
Strangely, it's very much tied into the original, like the opposite of the last one. Where this one's like, okay, you didn't want new Ghostbusters. Well, here's a story that
Yeah.
goes back to the Spangler family, and we're bringing back Zool, and we're bringing back all the old stuff. And people are like, whatever, we're over it already. I guess maybe the last one poisoned the well too much for
I
Ghostbusters
think
people
that's
don't want to
it.
come back.
I think
That
if
happens
you
sometimes.
wanted to do it, you would have had to do them in the different order. You
Right.
would have had to have done the Spangler, the
the
continuation
Spangler kids,
of that,
yeah, the grandkid or
family,
whatever, yeah.
and then reboot it with the girls.
And I thought it
think.
was fine. It's a fine little movie, and everyone's good in it. And actually, there's a moment where the kids do get together. You see the trailer. They're using the Ecto one, and they're using the machines. They're doing the ghost busting.
Right.
And as I was watching that, I was like, I could watch like a kid's Ghostbusters movie. This is sort of working for me. But it's also like whatever. I could have also watched another one with all the ladies. Like, it's just Ghostbusters. Who cares? It was such a huge phenomenon in '84 that all the people that are like a little older than us are like, they hold it as in such high regard because we don't understand. In '84, Ghostbusters was the thing. It was #1 movie of the year. There was Ghostbusters Mania ever. They had the cartoon. They had the toys. And now all these years later, those people are still holding on to that. But it's moved on. Like, who cares about Ghostbusters? You know?
I think the people that really cared are the only ones that really cared, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
else didn't but the people that I saw on
It's like
Facebook
if you did a
that
Zelda
saw it-
movie.
Yeah, the Zelda fans would freak out, and everyone else would be like, "What
and
is
everybody
this?"
else, like
But that's the world we're in.
yeah, that's the world we're in.
Everyone's in their pockets and their bubbles,
Yeah.
and they like their thing super hardcore, and everything else is like whatever.
Yeah. Like so, there's just little pockets of engaged audience for everything.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And
it's
that's-
crazy.
And that seems like how it'll be from now on, and just get more diluted, more and more to the point where. How many different streaming services will there be in 20 years? Or will it start to consolidate?
Actually, I think
don't
it's
know.
going to start consolidating. We're going to see them going away because there's just too many to sustain that kind of market.
You already are seeing them being bought up by bigger streaming companies to consolidate.
The HBO and Disney Discovery merger is happening. That's going to be a big deal.
Crunchyroll, I think, got bought by
They did get
somebody
bought,
and rolled into something because I got free. I logged onto my Xbox and they're like, "Hey, you want the free streaming?"
You got it now? Yeah.
I'm like, "What? Why? Okay, sure. Is it really free? Yeah, it's really free." Got rolled
wild.
into like my Hulu or something.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the business of these streaming services, because they're still. I don't understand 100% how it works, and I'm sure a lot of people are like me in this regard. So in the movie industry, we've always understood that you pay for a movie. And then once it's finished, then you release that movie in theaters, and then the ticket sales you hope surpass the amount you paid for the movie, right? Like that's
If you can make your money back on the initial ticket
Yeah.
sales, absolutely.
But then you have merchandise
and then
you have
everything else,
video
yeah.
and stream.
And then so all that's like,
there's all sorts of money stuff.
so you just hope that
Corporate partner.
the amount of money you make back in ticket revenue and all the other stuff, like at home release.
Yeah, and then you sell the rights to. At first, it was to broadcast TV. You probably still sell broadcast TV rights.
Yeah.
You sell TV rights now. Streaming rights. You sell maybe Netflix will want to pick it up in the very beginning, and they'll pay you all the money so that they can eventually just release it on their platform.
Well, okay. Speaking of the Netflix, because I'm talking about like pre-streaming services, right? And then so now we get into streaming services where Netflix and HBO and Hulu and all these other, Disney Plus or whatever.
And then there's small ones like Shudder is the horror one. There's a Criterion channel. There's all sorts of ones.
Oh, there's tons of little ones.
Yeah.
The little ones gets out of control.
I'm subscribed to like 8-10 different ones. It's ridiculous.
So let's
it's gotten
just,
out of hand.
And I'm probably asking you like internal business questions. It's impossible for you to answer, and only Netflix
I can fake
internally
it, though.
answer.
I can fake it, yeah.
But it's like, all right.
Just say anything.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you.
I'm good at this.
So 8-Bit Christmas was on Netflix, right? So it's like
HBO.
HBO.
Oh, HBO. Okay, so HBO. So HBO decides like we want to do a Christmas movie. It will not only help us maybe get some new subscribers, but make our current subscribers happy,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you make like what determines success in this scenario where it's like you
For the movie itself?
Yeah, because-
engagement. When Netflix crows about something like Squid Game is our most watched thing ever, that's a huge success for them because they see people are now using their platform to watch their thing. At the more amount of time you spend on Netflix, the more amount of time Netflix is happy. Whether or not you even like what you're watching doesn't matter as long as you keep going to the next
The menu
thing.
counts too, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't care really.
Well, if it starts auto playing and it plays for like 10
Right.
seconds, they count that as a play. There
Yeah.
we go. It's working. So it's
Yeah.
for sure the engagement of their programs. They can see their own numbers.
Is it still in the top 10? Because I think that would count, right? They
Yeah,
probably,
well, Netflix, they started doing their own top 10 thing, which I don't know. I feel like take that with a grain of salt if you really want to believe what they say. But they let you know what movies are trending, and then that becomes a feedback loop where then people don't want to check it out and whatever.
And I understand that concept. Like, of course, you want to create something that everybody's talking about is going to promote your platform, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And then the buzz is so big for something like Squid Game where people are like, I want to see a Squid Game. I'll finally subscribe to
And then-
Netflix
Right.
or steal my friend's password.
So next Squid Game comes along, everyone's like Tiger King, like all of a sudden
Yes.
something hits and
Yes.
becomes super hot. But I'm talking about the
It's like
regular.
an animal and then a word. So if you got that, you're good. Squid,
figured
tiger.
it out. Oh, he figured it out.
But
Yeah, it's all good
How
stuff.
do you
Hotel.
because it's
There you
hard
go.
to quantify just download time to how much money you spent on producing this movie or making it. So that's a
Yeah.
weird thing to me because there's no ticket sales or
Right.
there's no other way to quantify it except for people downloading it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, was this worth, like, okay, say this movie, say 8-Bit Christmas cost HBO what? 30 million to make or something like that.
That could probably be 30, 50 million.
50 million.
Netflix, they bought Knives Out 2 and 3 for $450
Whoa,
million
my
total.
God,
for both
dude.
of those movies. But part of that is going into the production of the movies. But that
Okay.
means they're like $200 million
Wait.
productions each.
Yes,
That's insane.
it's
So
Isn't
how
that
do you
what they did
quantify
with-
that? If that's a success, like once they release it, okay, you
Yeah.
get let's say 10 million people or more than that, like 30 million, 50
I don't
million
think they can.
worldwide.
100 million. They
I
had
don't know
200
if they
million
can
subscribers.
quantify
So
that.
then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, 100 million people download. They didn't pay anything. And
Is,
like
it,
you
is
get,
it for the prestige of just having those things?
it's an odd business model. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's
No, because they've
it's-
done it before with stuff they spent money on and then it wasn't well received.
Yeah, sure.
They've
it happens all the time.
They dump money into stuff.
I think
mean,
Amazon spent a lot of money on the Tomorrow Award. Did they spend money to make that? And that didn't
well,
do too
what
well.
about the
when
new
they
Game of
streamed-
Thrones deal that already got yanked?
I just read that they spent $30 million on a Game of Thrones prequel pilot,
And
then
they
they
yanked
watched
it.
the pilot and were like, pull the plug on the whole
Yeah,
thing.
no,
We
they
can't
did.
spend any more money on
That's
this thing.
absolutely
$30
true.
million.
it's less.
That was last week.
Yes, that's crazy.
It seems to me way less cut and dry to whether something's a success or not because it's hard to quantify. Like
Yeah.
even with Squid Games, like yes, a huge success, but how many people did that get to subscribe to Netflix
and can they tell? I guess maybe
Yeah, they would look at people that signed up and where
The
they
very
went,
first thing they watch is
went to a
Squid
Squid
Game.
Game. They can
Okay.
tell you that.
But
Yeah.
but that may not 100% mean that they signed up because of Squid. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Nearly
you're right.
impossible to tell.
Unless you individually ask each person as they sign up, why are you signing
Yeah,
up? And then you
yeah,
get their answer. You're
You're
not going
right.
to really know. Yeah.
And then did it make back how much money you paid for that?
The Irishman, remember that one a couple years ago? Netflix, $200 million for that one.
Yeah.
Scorsese's new movie with Leo DiCaprio on Apple TV Plus, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
$220 million they're paying for that thing. It may not even come out in theaters. It may be straight to Apple. That's so much money to spend on a thing that's going to play in only homes. It's wild how much money they're spending for some of these movies
But you're banking
that aren't even
on
going to
it.
play in theaters.
Yeah, but you're banking on it just automatically being bigger because the accessibility is not a theater and having to go to one.
I'll tell you, as soon as they announced that Scorsese movie on Apple, also when I heard that, I was like, well, by the time that movie comes out, I'm signing up for Apple because that's the thing that's going to get me to sign up for that service is something like a Martin Scorsese
Right.
movie. So everyone does have a thing,
And they're going to do it right. They're
that'll
going to do
trigger
the
them.
spatial audio, and they're going to make it sound good and look good.
It'll look as good as it can,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But everyone certainly has a trigger for each service. Like, I want to watch Atlanta when it comes out season 3, so I have to get Hulu for FX so I can watch Atlanta. Stuff
I
like
have
that.
yet to dig into that, and I've had more people tell me that show
Oh, it's so good.
is
Dan, it's like that show is
amazing.
made for you. You need to
I
watch
love Atlanta
it.
too. Like
It's
I
so
love
good.
the city of like I'm.
It's-
You know what?
It's so
It's
good.
been, what, 3 years since
Since
the last season?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I'm
Yeah, it's
doing it.
wild.
I'm
Then
gonna do it.
finally doing it. When Donald Glover, when he made the show originally, he was like, I want to make like a Twin Peaks style show for black people, for black audiences. And it definitely has that weird vibe of like, this is a strange alternate dimension. Like Justin Bieber's black. The 20s have Harriet Tubman on them already, and they're getting ready to be discontinued. There's a lot of these little weird details. They're in this alternate world.
That's
So
crazy.
it's crazy. It's a good show.
Chris, throw out one good movie you've watched recently, one bad one, and we'll end with that.
Interesting. I did see, well, I think a good one, a pretty good one. One that I found surprisingly inspirational and uplifting was the King Richard movie that came out on HBO recently. And I'm bringing it up because that's going to be one of the big Oscar-dominated movies, I think, here in a couple months. Will Smith playing Richard Williams, Venus and Serena's father, and it's about how he raised
I
them.
have no interest. I just have no interest.
I
I
didn't
don't
either.
either,
I
but I've
honest-
heard. Okay, I had
Yeah.
a friend of mine.
I
that,
don't care about any more sports growing up.
I don't either, but
want
I
Tiger
heard from a
Woods' dad.
person that I least expected told me like, yeah, it happened to be on and I watch it,
Yeah.
and they're like, yo,
It's surprising.
it's a surprisingly very good performance.
and-
Like it makes you look at Will Smith with like a lot more.
Well, I've always liked Will Smith,
Yeah.
especially going back to like
Well,
Ali
this person
and stuff
telling
like that.
me was like, nah, I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, he's really good in it. The girls are really good, and then it's surprisingly uplifting and inspirational the whole way through.
Does he look good though? I mean,
Yeah, he looks fine.
he doesn't end up looking like a Tiger Woods dad, where he's like, I'm
No,
going to
yeah,
steal your childhood
exactly.
and make you a golfer.
So this is what I thought was going to happen. Going into the movie, I'm like, this is weird. We're making a movie in which it's about a dad who's obviously going to be like an abusive, tough dad, but then it worked because
it's
his kids are stars.
Like that drumming movie.
Yes, like Whiplash.
Like
It's gonna be like a
Whiplash
Whiplash.
meets Serena
It's
Williams'
100%. The movie is produced by the Williams family, so the whole movie from start to finish is Richard Williams was right the whole time. No matter what he does is right. In the trailer, they show him playing tennis with the girls in the rain. It looks like, oh, look how intense their training is. In the movie, they're playing tennis, and when they're done, the girls are like smiling. Yeah, Dad, we're having fun. They're enjoying
love
themselves.
playing in the rain.
They loved it so much.
I wonder how much of that is accurate.
They produced it.
Yeah, but they could try
know,
try
it
to
could
make
be-
him
they
look
could
good.
be,
yeah.
absolutely,
Control the
100%.
narrative.
I don't know. In a
Absolutely.
weird
Yep.
way, there, I feel with the way that their victories and the way that they talk about themselves with confidence, I don't feel like they do anything they didn't want to do. They're pretty
Yeah.
damn strong.
Yeah, they
ladies.
did not have to make this
Yeah,
movie.
they don't come
Right.
off
Yeah.
like we would do that if we. Yeah, I feel like they'd just be like, well, if we can't do it our way, we're done. We're
Yeah,
not gonna do
so
it.
surprisingly well done. Will Smith is great, so expect him to be
Okay.
nominated, maybe even win Best
No.
Actor, maybe.
No way.
be-
Fresh Prince does not get an Oscar.
He may be getting his first win, and it's because it's because the field this year is very thin for Oscar movies for whatever reason. Not
He
that
won't
many,
get it.
The movies that are
'Cause he's
supposed to be
Fresh Prince.
Oscar movies are flopping in a way. Like there's this Being the Ricardos movie that's coming out. It's an Aaron Sorkin movie starring Nicole Kidman and
Why?
Javier Bardem as Lucy and Desi, and
It's
it
odd
is
that they
not
picked,
getting good reviews.
It's odd that they picked a plastic British woman to play.
Australian woman, but yeah,
Australian,
plastic
yeah.
woman.
Yeah, or Austrian. Yeah, or Australian rather, or New Zealand or whatever.
People had problem with the casting from the beginning, and now that the
Yeah.
movie's out, everyone's like, "We were right. This should not have been."
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
read what the director or the writer,
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, I read what he was when he was talking about it, and he was like, "Well, it's more of just like it's like a essence. It's more of an aura." And I'm
No.
like,
No, he
I don't know, man. Lucy's very iconic,
Yeah, by all accounts, he blew it.
and her whole vibe is like physical comedy and facial expressions, and I just couldn't.
Physical comedy.
Yeah, I could never
using
see
her
Nicole
face.
Kidman doing that. Like you look at Nicole Kidman again, beautiful woman, beautiful actress,
She's-
great actress.
she's a great
but
actress.
just not that.
Yeah, no, I would not expect her. It's like when she was in Bewitched. Like,
Now the girl
used to see
on
you do
Saturday
something
Night
else.
Live, Kate McKinnon.
yeah,
Now I can see her playing Lucy because she's
she's a good comedian.
because she has that physicality.
She's an
to
actual
her
comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
She's
you know,
good.
weird, very weird.
One bad movie, Chris?
A bad one. I mean, I haven't seen too many bad ones. I will say there is a movie that's getting great reviews, and I just saw it this past weekend on Netflix. And I, as a film critic, don't understand the great reviews. It's a Western, The Power of the Dog, the Benedict Cumberbatch Western.
I've been
It's
wanting
on
to
there.
see that.
It's
All right.
it's
I'm a
okay.
Western-y guy.
I love westerns.
Yeah, well, you and I've talked about our
yes,
love
we
for
have talked about that
westerns.
before. I'm in the middle of rewatching Unforgiven for my Patreon right now. I love that movie so much. But it's just like it tries to do a sort of speaking of There Will Be Blood earlier. It tries to do a sort of There Will Be Blood, but it's like a There Will Be No Blood. Like There Will Be Blood, but not really is what it is. They even got the same guy to do the score, Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead. So there are times when it's like shots of like the planes and cowboys and Benedict Cumberbatch is acting all tough, and the score is very There Will Be Bloody, and I'm like, you're not selling me
Not
on this.
selling
It's not.
it, huh?
It's not working. Sorry, guys.
Interesting.
And then it's like the story itself is fine. The characters are interesting, but it's just a very slow-paced movie. And I like slow-paced movies, but this one just was not doing it for me at all. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a bummer. And we only get like 1 or 2 westerns a year anyway. I need to watch
Yeah.
the other one, The Harder They Fall. That one's supposed to.
Who's
be
going to
pretty good.
invigorate the Western franchise?
Tarantino tried it a couple times with Django and The Hateful Eight, and it didn't really take off.
didn't take.
So I don't know if it's ever going to happen again. They even remade The Magnificent Seven. That really
No.
no one even remembers that movie.
I'm-
it's like
I'm-
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure people will still try, but I mean, I don't know. I've always enjoyed it. I've always
Yeah.
enjoyed that solitary, like you're out there with no like cars.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like just you and animals, and it's like you and your gang
And it's
against.
like, and then
I
there's
don't know,
like
it's-
nature, and
Yeah.
it's just a harder way of living. But that's all they knew, so they did it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, as a kid, there was nothing better to me than a Western.
I
And
love
then
them.
I grew up during a time when they were blending. It was the perfect amount of like update and then a perfect amount of like,
like the tropes, bringing everything
well,
up.
like
front.
Young Guns 1 and 2. And I know we got to get
Yes.
out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
but-
Yes, the Young Guns movies are well.
Yeah,
Well-
I grew up during that, so it was like perfect.
Perfect.
Chris, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Again, it's a Cinema Crespodiso podcast. And plug your network and everything.
Thank you, PFT Media.
Plug your net worth.
Oh
That's a
boy,
weird way to
it's
end
low.
That's a
Low.
weird way to
You don't
end.
wanna- It needs a plug. It's leaking so quickly, like a sieve every day. My net worth. PFTmedia.com. All our PFT Media shows going strong, and then Patreon.com/Crespodiso for all of our awesome Crespodiso stuff specifically. And look me up online. I am Chris Crespo on Twitter. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Thanks, Chris. All right.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.